Hey, what's up, guys? It's Apollo Uchiha here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I am back with a new movie. The name of this movie is What If Naruto Went on a Journey? And yeah, guys, it is an unscripted movie. Now, before continuing this, it is my own idea, and I got it from after reading a novel known as The Alchemist. And yeah, I was inspired by that novel. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest you do. It is a motivational novel with a lot of quotes as well as a lot of life lessons in it. And yeah, moving onwards, I have implemented the core, knowledge that was given and wisdom that was given into that book into Naruto, or tried my best to do so. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy today's movie, and if you do, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel and follow me on my Meta What If channel as well. And disclaimer, this is not an action-packed story, but this is a story in which Naruto will go on a journey to fulfill his true destiny and achieve his reward for doing so. And yeah, it might teach you a thing or two. Do let me know in the comments what you guys think. And yes, I have grown a habit of reading novels. Don't judge me. And I have been obsessed with reading novels. Aside from just, fiction, I have read a lot of self-help books as well, and I've gotten into reading. All thanks to you guys, because you guys put me into fan fiction and stuff. So I gotta say thank you so much for this hobby of mine. Anyways, enough said, enough of my yip yapping. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's movie. Our story begins after the end of the Fourth Great Shinobi War and 17 years after the Kyubi attack. As we go towards Konoha Gakure no Sato, that was filled to the brim with visitors from all around the elemental nations. And not only that, they were there for one specific reason: to catch a glimpse of the hero of the whole world, Naruto Uzumaki. But he was nowhere to be found, because currently he was occupied with reading a lot of books to gain knowledge, because he was still a genin. As funny as it might be, since Naruto was busy with the whole ordeal, he was never able to take the Chunin exams or even the Jonin exams, and he was left behind because all of the other of his friends had become Jonins and even Anbu level shinobis, while he himself was a Kage level or a huge major threat level shinobi. He was still considered by ranks as a Genin. So yes, he wanted to raise that rank because he soon had an aim to fulfill, and that was to be the Hokage. It was his goal. As now we see, currently Iruka was making Naruto read all the books that he could to gain the knowledge. And now we see currently Naruto was reading a book in which he found that our goals and dreams are quite different. As he was quite confused by this, as he looked up and looked towards his sensei, Iruka Umino. Sensei, I found this quote in this book. It says that our dreams and goals are two different things. How is that even possible? Well, it is possible because our dreams may be different, or even signs or omens, but as for goals, they are something we consider our dream and want to achieve them. So you can say, in a sense, they are two different things. Now, this made Naruto confused very, very greatly, because he did not knew what was the meaning of this. As now we see, after that session ended, Naruto somehow was able to escape his fangirls that he was able to gain after the Fourth Great Shinobi War and arrive at his home. Not the apartment, but the home that was given to him by the Hokage Tsunade Senju, as well as the whole council, his parents' home. As after setting a foot inside, we see he ventured deep within and finally laid down on his bed. As his eyes closed shut, he had a dream in which he saw that he had traveled all the way across the elemental nation into a village that has been occupied by a few people who are still alive and kicking, as they wore the same robes as the Otsutsuki clan, but they were humans, meaning that they belonged to the clan of the sage himself. And there they welcomed him with open smile and told him that there was a reward waiting for him there, a reward that he only will be able to grasp after he continues his journey and arrive there. As soon as the people would were about to tell him what his reward was, he would be wakened either by Sakura pounding on his door or either by face faulting to the ground. And this continued on for almost a month. Naruto would, within a month or a week, had this dream for 4 to 5 times, and this was a recurring dream again and again, to the point where Naruto had gone quite silent and contemplative of it. As now we see, he was currently standing in front of Tsunade, who was about to give him a mission, which was basically him have to going into the Iwagakure to establish peaceful treaty and nationwide trade routes. As this was going on, Naruto was in deep thought, while we see Sakura was the one bonking him on the head as he was thinking about the dream. As Naruto then said, "What the hell, Sakura-chan? What was that for?" "Sensei has been asking you a question for quite a while now." "What has gotten into you, Naruto? Why are you still looking like you're half asleep?" "Oh, sorry, it's nothing." "Are you okay, Naruto?" said Kakashi, looking a little tad worried about his student. "Yeah, it would be bad if you got, distracted right now, Naruto," said Sai. "I'm not distracted, Sai. It's nothing." As now we see, Tsunade eyes narrowed because Naruto was never good at hiding anything from her. The same could be said for the others, which meant that something was serious or something was eating him up. As throughout the whole journey, Kakashi had been ordered to, alongside with Sakura, to monitor him, and that is what they did. Naruto, usually in his sleep, looked like quite in distress, and then he would wake up while the others pretended to sleep again. Damn it. And he would say, along the same lines, what had happened in his dream. So much so that even the others got curious, and soon enough they reached Eva, and after the whole ordeal there, which took almost 2 weeks, they finally returned and gave the mission report, which was successful. As that is when we see Naruto was again in deep thought, as Tsunade then said, "Naruto? Oi, brat!" Yes, Bachan. What is it?" "You can go. You and Sakura are free to leave." As after both of them left, we see Sai was also told to leave, as Kakashi would remain behind. So, it seems that something is distressing him a lot. A dream, maybe. And it seemed to be a recurring dream. How long do you think he had it? While traveling for almost a month, we have seen that he had this course of event multiple times throughout a week, or even a month. That much, huh? It's a message then. A message? It might be an omen telling him to do what is in the dream. Otherwise, that won't be possible. But I thought they were nothing more than myths. Everything in the world seemed to be myth. Don't you agree, Kakashi? But yet they exist. The Bijus do. Madara Uchiha, we thought of him being powerful, a legendary shinobi, was a myth, because he was defeated by my grandfather, and yet we all faced him. He was even able to take down all 5 Kages, combined with the previous generation Kages. Yeah, said Kakashi as felt chills run down his spine because he still remembered Guy and Madara fighting, and Guy even had to use the 8 gains, and the bastard was tough enough to even survive that, although wounded, but still able to survive that attack. And even after that, if it wasn't for Naruto as well as Sasuke, who had gained the Sage's abilities, things would have been different, way too much different, because Madara had become almost successful with the Moon Knight plan. As now we see, Tsunade then said, "Jiraiya, I need you to bring Naruto back and convince him to speak with us. And bring Ino here as well. There's only one way for us to see what is eating him up. As much as I hate to do this, I can't see him like this. It's not like him." "Yeah, I can see that." Naruto was distressed and distraught throughout the whole journey, back and forth, in the mission. "We have to do something about it. I mean, he's our star right now, right?" said Kakashi with a U-turned eye smile, as Tsunade sighed. "Of course you would say that. Why don't you leave?" "Yes, I will." As next day Naruto was brought there back again. "I don't understand why you guys want to know about a stupid dream that has been giving me hard time again and again." "Because, Naruto, we want to see what you are seeing that has been eating you up. Whether you like it or not, it has changed you completely." "So what if it has?" Look at you, Naruto. There are dark circles under your eyes, said Sakura, pointing a finger towards him. You haven't eaten that much, and you have grown weaker again. And not only that, your hair. You haven't been tending to it, and it has grown a bit longer. So what? Maybe I like big hair. No, you didn't, Naruto. You liked it to a minimum length, and that is something everyone knows here. Because you blabbered it out whenever you had a haircut. Oh, said Naruto, putting a hand behind his head and rubbing it. Sorry about that. It's alright, Naruto. Now, we all are worried about you and want what is best for you. And for that to happen, we need to see what has been eating you up, my boy. As after that, Ino was unable to enter Naruto's mind, and where she came face to face with the Ninetales, who was without the cage, as it was resting, as its eye opened. If you wish to see his dream, girl, it is right over there, and do not worry, I won't threaten you. As Ino felt her heart stop when the Bija spoke, but then continued onwards, and what she found was quite shocking. Naruto was in Konoha, having the time of his life, and that is when he saw a kid that arrived near him wearing a white robe and grabbing his hand, and both of them then were on the other side of the whole elemental nation, where a secluded place, a small village was located, in which people similar to a man who was statued there that seemingly looked like the sage of the sixth path from Naruto's memories were there, their clan, and they were calling him there so that they could reward him because their master had deemed it necessary. As after that, now we see Ino's eyes open and so did Naruto's. I I get it now. Naruto has to go there. Where? To that place where that clan resides. The clan of the sage. There still exists. They still exist? How is that possible? From what I remember, the clan of the sage was wiped out when Naruto told us previously, said Sakura, as everyone else nodded. No, I've seen it. And this recurring dream, it may be an omen. I have read about them. It is a sign of the world itself to show you the path, your destiny. Naruto's destiny doesn't end here being the child of prophecy. It has to continue, said Ino, as everyone looked at Naruto with wide eye, as Naruto was contemplating this. It's a stupid dream, you know. Nothing more, nothing less. I am happy here, content with what I have. Listen to me, brat, said Tsunade as she stood up. As much as I hate to do this, I have to tell you. If you don't go, you might come to regret it. Knowing you and your personality, you will. And besides, you are the strongest being walking on the elemental nation. What are you afraid of? You're right about that, but still, I have finally found what I needed. My dream. I'm closer to it, being the Hokage. It was my goal. I told you before, boy. This is a different. A goal is one that is set by a man, but a dream is something that a man dreams of and wishes for it to come to reality. And this dream to occur again and again, it is nothing more than an omen given to you by everything in this life and by chakra itself that you should travel and go to that place. So you should have to, Naruto. I I guess I have to think about it. As now we see, Naruto got up and left. As Naruto arrived back at his home and it was night time, he couldn't sleep because he was having a hard time sleeping for the past 2 months because obviously he was gonna have the same dream. And this time around, a voice spoke to him. What is it, kid? The dream still bothering you? Yeah. I don't understand what Bachan is saying. I mean, I'm finally able to achieve my dream of being the Hokage that I said it would be. I set it as my goal, didn't I? Yes. Your one dream has been achieved, as you can say. But there is another that has been given to you as a sign, Naruto. And what that lady has said, it is true. I have lived for thousands of years in this world. Remember that. From the age of the sage all the way to the current age. And let me tell you something. The signs of life is a way of God speaking to you, making Kami connect to you. If you don't listen to it, then you won't be able to listen to it ever again. The reward that awaits you on the other side is much more than just a reward or just a position that you need. Listen to your heart, kid, and tell me what does it desire. As now we see, Naruto closed his eyes, and then he tried to speak to his heart. As at first he felt as if his heart was afraid to continue on and lose everything that he has created here. And then he tried to comfort it and speak to it again. It continued on for almost a week, and finally he was able to hear his own heart's voice, which told him that he was satisfied, he was happy, and how he was ready to learn what the dream was. And at that moment, Naruto realized that it was another sign given to him by his own heart. As Kurama then said, remember, kid, your heart is the key that connects you to with omens, the very essence of life and of the world. As Naruto's eyes widened, as now he knew what he must do. As the very next day, after the whole agonizing week of speaking to his heart, Naruto was at peace as he finally arrived at Tsunade's office. So, Naruto, what can I do for you? Remember a week ago you told me to continue on with your journey? Yes, I did. I have decided that I would. How did you come to decide that? I spoke to my heart. As Tsunade smiled, realizing what Naruto had said. She had been with slugs for a long time and was not considered slug sounding for nothing. Because Naruto was finally able to become a true sage. A sage wasn't just a person who had the power and the ability to connect to nature. He was a person who was filled with wisdom, just like the true sage of the sixth path. Not the sages that they consisted of in today's world, warriors. And Naruto's journey was going to be quite fruitful to him. Tsunade knew that, as after giving him a few funds of money, Naruto was sent on his way. As now we see, Naruto's journey began as his heart told him to take his time and continue on by foot. He could have gone there in a hurry, because to him, crossing the elemental nation was quite easy at high speed that he contained, but now he wanted to enjoy the world and travel. And soon Naruto's journey began. At first he stopped at the land of fire, near the end where the port was created, for him to travel all the way to Kirigakure, where he would continue on foot. And after going on a boat and that voyage began, we see that Naruto was not good with boats at first, was now at peace and calm. As this was continuing going on, we see that all the way to the other side, in Kirigakure, a man hidden in the bushes itself, wearing tattered clothes and having a huge staff, and uncut hair and beard, was seated there. Ah, I see, he said as a breeze of wind flew by him. So he's on his way. My final discipline that I must teach before he continues on his journey. As now we see, the man had a smile on his face because he too could read the omens and was the perfect sage after the sage of the sixth path himself. As Naruto finally arrived after a few weeks of journey to Kirigakure, and as soon as he set a foot down, there was Mei Terumi waiting for him there. Greetings, Naruto. Hey, Mei-san, what is going on here? We are here to greet you, and once we heard that you were arriving here, we thought why not welcome you into the village. I really appreciate that, but I might have to leave. I am on a journey of my own to discover something. I have heard from Tsunade, but I must insist, even for a few weeks you must stay. As so, Naruto was forced to stay mid his journey. As Naruto arrived inside, we see that there was a huge welcoming party for there. As Naruto smiled and cheered for everyone, greeted everyone as the rest of the Kiri cheered. And finally, we see Naruto was given a huge room, but his heart was dissatisfied, as Naruto couldn't sleep. What is it, kid? Try to get some sleep. You are on a journey, remember? Yeah, but I can't. Ever since you told me to speak to my heart, it has been continuously speaking to me in a form of signs. I'm distraught right now, Kurama. I can't sleep. It's like something is going on. I am at unrest. Then why don't you take a stroll across the village? There you might be able to see someone and clear out your mind and heart, suggested Kurama, and hinging himself, Naruto did what he was told to do. As now we see, it was night time in Kirigakure, as everything was seemingly peaceful. The breeze of the sea was filling the air with a little bit of mist, and not only that, the village itself seemingly looked like peaceful, a few lit windows every now and then, while the darkness surrounded everywhere. Naruto in this atmosphere was taking a walk and went near the river, where he found a woman that was about to do something. She was standing on the very edge, as Naruto then dashed towards her. Wait, what are you doing, lady? What is it to you? You're not the one who lost someone in the war. I did. Wait, calm down. I I know who you are, Naruto Uzumaki. I know. But you were not able to save my my Tenma. He died. He died protecting your Kage. He didn't even have to do that. He was just a chunin, she said, as tears welled up in her eyes. Please calm down. Listen to me. How about you back down and we can sit and talk, alright? I am here for you if you need an ear. And so Naruto was able to convince her to stop from doing what she was about to do. As now we see, once she settled down near a seating bench there, she looked down as Naruto was even more shocked to find out that she was pregnant, as Kurama was able to sense another form of chakra within her. You can sense that, huh? Of course I am. But what is the point of living? Because I know how hard it will get without him. My Tenma was the most reliable and precious man to me. You see, I was an orphan as long as I could remember. And then the the Kiri was divided into two fractions at the time, as the war was being ensued. And once me and Tenma met, it was in the middle of it. He was a Kekkeigenkai user, and and I was a civilian. I obviously sheltered him because I didn't want anyone else to die. And that is when we became best friends. And from friends to lover. I see. You two loved each other very much. To the death. He even promised me that if any one of us died first, the other will follow suit. Because we can't live without one another. He filled my heart and world with light. And you took that away from me. Your war did. The shinobi world did. This world is really accursed. As Naruto's eyes widened, as he remembered Madara's word. Remember, Naruto Uzumaki, this is a cursed world. As soon as there is light of hope, there will always be shadows of darkness, of hate, of guilt following its suit. That is the way the life is. As Naruto was in deep thought, as he finally listened to his heart and spoke from his heart at the time. Even if you are hurt, he wouldn't have wanted that for you to happen. What you have is his legacy. His and yours creation. Isn't that what you needed? His and yours love, prime example, and the reality of it. Your child that is in your stomach. He will come to in this world, even if the world is going to be harder. He will make it all the worthwhile. Naruto said with a smile on his face. You see, I myself wasn't always a hero. I was an orphan myself. And once I was born, there was an attack on Konoha. I remember the Kyuubi attack. Yes. And let's just say, once I was of a younger age, I couldn't even realize why the villagers were so hateful towards me or even scorned me. Nobody was allowed to go near me. I was sort of a pharaoh of the village. And I myself at one point thought that what's the point of living and continuing on at such a young age? As the lady's eyes widened. Really? Yes. But you were such young. Of course I was. But that is when, like, I was able to find you. Someone was able to find me and stop me from what I was about to do. I listened to him, and he gave me a hope, a goal, and a dream. How about you set the same for yourself and your future child? Set a goal for him or her. See if he has a comforting life and is raised to be a man that will change the next generation or a woman that will make a next revolution. As that is when the woman was in deep contemplating, as that is when her hands surrounded her stomach and hugged it tightly, as tears welled up in her eyes. How could I have forgotten? For a mother, the greatest joy in this world is to bring forth a child that she unconditionally will love forever, for eternity, even after that. As Naruto smiled, yeah, a mother's love is really strong, he said, remembering a certain redhead that was his own mother, as he wiped the tear away. As both of them continued to talk and lay each other's heart out, we see that it was already sunrise, as Naruto then said, it's been a pleasure, ma'am, but I must return before Mei-sama gets mad. It's alright, Naruto. You have made me look it in a positive way. Tenma sacrificed himself so that his and mine child and I could be at peace. I was lost before, but thanks to you, I was able to see myself in a new light. Thank you. As after that, Naruto was about to make his way back, and for some reason, his heart was at peace, so much so that his body began to feel heavy, and he was ready to pass out then and there. And he finally arrived at his hotel room and slept throughout the whole day with a smile on his face. And for a whole continuous week, Naruto was able to went and met with that woman, and she had changed a lot. She told him that she has begun working in a shop right now, and soon after learning about the skills she is going to establish, or might even went out on travel. As now we see, it was his last day there, as Naruto was about to leave. And first thing he did was came here to meet his new friend, which was Haruhi, the woman that he has met. Haruhi-san, I'm about to leave on my journey again. I hope that you will be able to reach your destiny as well, Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened. I'm sorry, what? Yes, I hope you will be able to reach your destiny, because through you I was able to see through mine, and now I know what I need to do. Thank you. As Naruto smiled, and after that, saying goodbye to Kirigakure, he continued on. He then went through the forest. It was a hard terrain, but he listened to his heart and continued on in a normal civilian pace. As he continued on, we see that he stopped when he heard the cries of a girl. As soon as he dashed there, he saw that there were a caravan that was broken down and a few people that was surrounded by a huge mob, and they were criminals. As Naruto jumped in, as his eyes were narrowed, what are you all doing? Look at this, Naruto Uzumaki wannabe. You think you can stand in our way? We will cut you down as well. Stand aside and let us do what we are here to do. Or otherwise you will suffer the wrath of our group as well, brat. As Naruto then said, try me. As suddenly enough, Naruto bursted into golden flames, unleashing his chakra, as everyone felt chills run down their spine. This is the real deal. This is the real Naruto. But Naruto didn't allow them to leave. He beated them and then tied them up, and sent a clone to Kirigakure, who was nearby, to retrieve them. You don't need to worry about anything. They are secure and safe. They won't be able to harm you ever again. As the man then got up and said, thank you so much. I didn't believe I would be able to meet a hero of your stature here, Naruto Uzumaki-sama. Naruto is fine, said Naruto, rubbing the back of his head. But I gotta ask you, mister, what are you doing all the way here? Oh, we had a dream. We wish to travel across the whole elemental nation, and have been traveling. You see, I'm a merchant, and this is my wife and my daughter. We have been traveling around. Traveling, I see. But you didn't bring any protection with you. Yeah, that is on me because we thought that it would be worth the adventure. But we didn't thought that we would end up here. Where are you from? I am from Sunlight Village. I'm sorry, what? It's quite far away. A remote village that is all the way on the other side of the elemental nations. Really? Yes. And we had just finished our travels here and we're returning there. So you have finished going through the each and every land as well as, well, nation? Yes, but not entirely. Because of the war that has just recently ended, we thought it would be best to just end our journey and continue back home, since I have been feeling a little bit homesick. As now we see, Naruto then said, "How about I help you? I am going towards a journey of my own. Maybe there it will lead me to something anew," said Naruto. As now we see, Naruto then helped out the couple, as the old man was watching him from afar with a smile on his face. "The journey of yours can wait, or maybe it will teach you a lesson. Only in time you will realize, my boy." As now we see, the sage vanished with a gust of wind in the form of leaves. As now we see Naruto look towards that direction. Huh? Must have been my mind playing games with me. As now we see, Naruto learned, as while they were traveling, the man's name was Hanma, and his wife's name was Terumi, while their daughter was Harumi. And the three of them had traveled all the way from Sunlight Village to here in order to travel. They are a small bunch of merchants, and they had a happy life there. And seeing them, Naruto was quite happy because what they had was a dream achieved. And not only that, a lot of happy moments are at the time they remembered. Naruto learned through them what true happiness is. Happiness is when you are closer to people who realize you and they're happy and joyful, and what truly brings joy to you. They listen to you, and they also give you the best advice they could. As seeing this, Naruto was also remembering his old friends, Shikamaru, Choji, and Kakashi Sensei, Tsunade, and then he saddened. It was Hiruzen Sarutobi who listened to him and gave him the good advice. And then there was Hirosanin. Even if he was a pervert, as Naruto chuckled at remembering that, he was his sensei and always was there for him whenever Naruto needed him. As now we see, Naruto continued on, as it was few months worth of travel, as almost half a year has passed since Naruto has departed, as finally they arrived at the gate of the Sunlight Village. Naruto, seeing the village, was shocked. It was as if he has arrived at a piece of heaven. It was filled with different sorts of colorful flowers, as well as there was not a single shinobi or a guard there. And it was filled with vitality. Him being connected to nature through the Toad-Sage chakra could feel it, as he even a few bits of tears fell down his eyes. "Naruto-san, are you okay?" Terumi asked. "It's nothing, Terumi-san. I I just can't believe that this place is filled to the brim with such chakra. Oh yes, we have pride in our village that this is the most beautiful one. Don't get us wrong, the village that we have visited may be more advanced and powerful, but this is home. This is where our heart is. And we will always come back, no matter where we are, to it," said Hanma. As now we see, Naruto eyes widened as he listened to him, as his heart was beating faster when he heard those words, as that is when he thought it might be an omen telling him that his heart was back in Konoha. And that is when he began to contemplate. Maybe that is why he wasn't able to leave or end himself, because Konoha itself, not the people, the village itself, was helping him through some people. First was his Gigi, then came his friends Shikamaru and Choji. The village was helping him in able to create bonds that are unbreakable, and even still are. And Naruto smiled at that notion. As finally after arriving there, Naruto was told to stay there, and for a week he did. And there he told the children his stories, as he watched them as they looked at him in awe, and showed them his skills as well for a bit. And then he placed a few seals to make sure that this village was protected forever, and gave the seal key to the turned out to be chieftain of the village, Hanma. "I didn't knew you were the chief of this village, but I guess everyone has their own secrets." "I guess you're right. But thank you, Naruto-san. You're always welcomed here, and this is yours now." As Naruto was given a stone that was crafted in the form of a flower, as It had a sun engraved into it as a necklace, as Naruto wore it. Thank you. This is a symbol between your and our village's friendship. As after that we see, Naruto nodded and agreed, and then walked for afar, and then stopped by. And then he remembered, where would he go from here? As he closed his eyes and looked into his heart for an answer, his heart pulled him back to the way he came from, all the way to Mizugakure. And so Naruto opened his eyes with a smile, looked behind, only to find that there was no such village there. There was nothing. What? What the hell? I I'm sure there was a village there. And so Naruto was quite confused. But maybe it was his seals that activated. And so now we see Naruto using his chakra, since he had a huge journey ahead, begin to dash there in a hurry. As soon as Naruto arrived there within a week's worth of travel, we see that Naruto was in village back again, as Mei was quite surprised to see him back, as that is when Naruto began to sit down and eat his food while Mei had ordered some for herself, and then asked, "Have you completed your journey, Naruto?" "No, I still am out there. But I have a question to ask. Do you know about any sunlight village nearby that is like a piece of heaven?" "What are you talking about, Naruto? Sunlight Village is itself a piece of heaven. It is where those who have perished go there." As Naruto's eyes widened, "What?" "Yes, and it is said that, as a myth, from what I have heard, if one is able to locate that village, he will achieve his true destiny and goal. And it is very good omen." "Good omen, you say?" said Naruto. "But why do you ask, Naruto?" As Naruto then revealed to her, after a bit of hesitance, the locket that he wore. As Mei's eyes widened, You found it?" "I was there for a month. I stayed there for a week as well. It was a beautiful village. Almost like, as you said, I thought, a piece of heaven fallen from the ground itself. I couldn't believe that such a village was for so long undiscovered, and was quite far away from the elemental nation. Many have ventured out, Naruto. Many people, after listening to the story of the Sunlight Village, the village of heaven, but no one was able to discover it, or find it even. And yet you stayed there for a week, and even had a symbol?" He said to me, the chief of the village, that it is a meaning that I am a friend of theirs. As Mei smiled, then keep it a secret, Naruto. Secret from anyone else. Just from your loved ones who you can trust. You wanna know why? Because that in itself is the greatest blessing and omen itself that would give you the strength and the courage you need to continue on. And it is a sign telling you that you have been the one chosen by the heavens for a great reward. As now we see, Naruto then smiled at that, and then contemplated that he was in literal heaven for a week. That in itself was quite a lot, as Kurama, who has been enjoying the journey so far with peaceful sleepiness and every tidbit of Naruto's life here and there, then spoke. "I gotta hand it to you, kid. Leave it to you to do the impossible. Who could have thought? A literal heaven where you stayed at. I am truly impressed. Way too much. But your journey didn't end here, Naruto. I can sense it. You're distraught. You need to continue." "Yeah, old friend. I think I do." As Kurama began to realize that Naruto's personality was changing, with these few encounters that were as if omen itself, Naruto was not being brash. He was being filled with wisdom, with patience, as well as with positive behavior. And he was beginning to realize the soul of world itself. He was learning a lot of hidden secrets that his father was able to learn, and become the sage that was still to this day, after his death of thousands of years ago, was regarded as the sage of the sixth path. As now we see, Naruto then began his journey again after bidding farewell to them and staying there for a bit. As finally, once he continued his travel, he came face to face with an old man who was seated in front of him. I have been waiting for you for a long time. As Naruto smiled, as his heart told him that this is where his final test will begin. So you are supposed to be my final test, old man. Of course you can say that, young man. You're a lot calmer than the last time I saw you. When was that? I saw you at multiple stages of your life, young one. The wind tells me that. Through him I see you and hear you as a child who was brash and knucklehead, as Naruto chuckled. And then I saw you bringing your brother back. Unbreakable bond and failing, but not giving up. I saw you make some sacrifices and lose people along the way that you loved. And then I saw you standing against the biggest threat known to the whole world. And finally, I saw you in midst of your journey, your true destiny, in front of me, here. As Naruto bowed and said to him, Sensei, I am ready to learn. As the sage smiled, of course you are. As now we see, the sage began to teach him how to listen to the wind, use the very elements, befriending them, and how he can use them to his own advantage. As it took Naruto a lot of time and meditation, but he finally was able to listen to the whispers of the wind, who continuously traveled all across the world, and he could sense and hear different peoples, even his own, even those of his friends who were worried about him, thinking what he was doing, getting into trouble, or was staying on the right path. And then he heard one girl word that he hasn't still given answer to. Hinata Yuga. She was waiting for him still. She loved him. Naruto could sense her heart. And the wind told her she is speaking from the heart, speaking the truth. I myself am quite impressed at how much one can love you so much. As that is when Naruto's eyes filled with tears fell down, as if he was filled to the brim with fulfillment. This fulfillment that he never had. As now we see Naruto opened his eyes with a smile on his face, as the sage was sitting there smiling. You have learned and became friend with the wind. I see. Now you must see through it. As Naruto closed his eyes and saw through it again, and seeing through it, Naruto began to see the visions of his own home, visions of his friends and everyone across the elemental nation. Because the wind continuously flows in all across the world, and Naruto was seeing that. As Naruto's eyes opened again, he smiled and nodded. Good, very good. The next is become friends with sun and the moon, and the universe itself, the world itself. Now that was quite a difficult task, and soon Naruto closed his eyes. He meditated, and once he entered a trance-like state, he did not knew how much time has passed. He continuously remained seated there, seated for such a long time that he finally heard a voice that spoke back to him, as it was the voice of the very soul of the world and universe itself. What is it that you wish to seek, child? I wish to become your friend. I wish to know the truth of this world. The truth of this world is, it is created for us to be able to roam free and meet with one another, connect with one another. The tribes, the nations, they were built so that we can learn from each other. That is why the world exists, for peace, happiness, and fulfillment. But it also had its negative aspects, isn't it? Of course, where there is light, there is shadow and darkness. Without it, life would be meaningless, wouldn't it? Yes, it would be. And so the talk continued on. Naruto did not know for how long he was seated there. The sage continued to watch him. As the seasons even began to change, Naruto was in a trance-like state. His hair was growing, his clothes were becoming dusty, but he was surrounded by grass and a lot of animals who didn't harm him, because right now he was connected to the very beginning of the whole world. Everything was connected to the soul and essence of the whole universe and this world as well. He then connected to the sun and the moon and became their friends as well, capable of lending and using their strength. He was becoming the true sage. The chakra itself of this earth was going through his body, fulfilling all the nourishment so that he wouldn't feel sick or tired or even die out of hunger or thirst. Naruto just seated there, as almost a whole year had passed since then. As finally Naruto opened his eyes, which were blue, were now filled to the brim with light, and they had a deep hue in them. His eyes were still blue and looked normal, but they had a lot of wisdom behind them, and not only that, they also had a lot of glow behind them. As Naruto then said, "It's been a pleasure meeting with you, Masamoto Seisama. So they have told you my name as well. Of course. Good to meet you, next generation sage. But your journey doesn't end here. I know. I must travel there, to the home of the sage, where the clan still resides. My final test awaits me. Then be on your way. Be with the wind." As the man disappeared with the wind, Naruto closed his eyes and smiled. "I will need your help, Wind. I will carry you, my friend, even to the end of the world." As Naruto himself began to disappear as leaves appeared there. Being carried by the wind was feeling as if he was flying. But within a blink of an eye, Naruto arrived at the village, the final destination, where everything would be. But as soon as he arrived there, he saw that the village was barren. Nobody was there. Nobody itself. As that is when he closed his eyes to see the dream. But he didn't have it anymore. As now we see, Naruto sat there, contemplating why he had gone throughout this journey for almost 2 years. There was no one here. He was a little sad. Sad that the people, the children that he saw in his dream that was bringing him into the village and telling him that there was a reward here for him, didn't even arrive there. As that is when Naruto sat down, understanding and listening for any sign and omen to give him a view. And that is when itself a gust of wind flew by and a scroll fell down. An old scroll that was somehow, through the passage of time, was still able to be maintained well enough. And it opened itself in front of him. And there in itself was the writing of the sage. And in it his name was mentioned. Your true treasure was always within you, Naruto. Your true treasure was this journey, and you learning a lot to be more sage. I would like to congratulate you, my son, to become the next sage of the sixth path. Now all you have to do is awaken the third eye. For that you have to meditate. And the most important chakra is back in my home. And there you shall. As Naruto closed his eyes, after a few moments, since he was gone through enough and has even befriended all the elements, even those, the universe itself, sun and the moon, Naruto was able to awaken the third eye. And as soon as the third eye opened, it revealed that it wasn't red like the sage, who was able to activate it within the war with his mother. It was as if the whole galaxy was within it. The eye was purple with bluish and whitish hue, with a lot of stars in them. And Naruto had become the embodiment of the soul of the world and the whole universe itself. He could sense it, connect with it. As that is when Naruto saw the sage spirit was seated in front of him, as he saw through his third eye while his other two eyes were closed. Congratulations, Naruto. I knew that you, after your journey was done, would be able to become the very embodiment of it. Yes, I am grateful that I came on this journey. I am grateful that I learned and met with all those peoples because they have taught me important lessons. As Naruto remembered about the woman that was about to die, woman who had lost herself, who reminded him that no matter how much he tried to preserve, there will always be those who will be engulfed with darkness. He brought up her dark side to the good one. And then there was that couple who was from the Sunlight Village that he had met. And they told him and reminded him that heart is where your home is. And that is why he came to appreciate his home, Konoha itself, much more than he ever did. And then he learned about the bonds that were created along the way. And then he became friends with the universe itself, realizing the true secrets and finally he was here, able to tap into its power in itself, becoming the truest form of sage ever to exist. I. Yes, Naruto, you're thinking correct. You are the very first sage of the whole universe, the truest form of a sage to ever exist. Now you must end your journey here, because in the future you will have your own discipline waiting for his own turn, because you must pass on this mentality to him. Your journey, your prize is here. The treasure of life, the treasure of life's joy, and of life's sorrow is all bestowed upon you. As Naruto nodded with a smile on his face, yes, I realize that. Thank you, Sage. And a parting gift from me. As the sage gave Naruto his staff, that as soon as he grabbed it turned into a white staff that had dots revolving around it from the top where it was empty. As Naruto's eyes widened, this is the staff. This is a staff fitting of the sage of the universe, Naruto. Remember that. As after that, Naruto opened his eyes again, the third eye being closed now. There was no one there. It was night time, and the staff was right there in his lap, and the people and the animals had surrounded him everywhere, listening, watching him attentively. They could feel his connection, and Naruto could sense what they were thinking. You're right. I have to go home. After all, my journey has ended, and that is where my heart belongs. And soon enough, Naruto, calling for the wind, arrived there. Now back in Konoha, we see that Naruto's friends had gathered, and they were speaking. You know, it has been 2 years since we've seen that knucklehead. How much he has changed. How much he has grown. I wish to know, said Ino. Yeah, you know, I hate to admit it, but we all miss him, said Kiba. Of course you would say the hate word, said Shikamaru. He was worried about his friend. It has been 2 years. Not a single letter has been sent to him, but Tsunade-sama, for some reason, was at peace, because she would talk to Katsuyu, and the Katsuyu will tell her about how Naruto's journey was. And soon enough, we see Tsunade was in her office, as she too was missing Naruto. Assuredly enough, there was a gust of wind as the window opened, and there stood in the center part in front of her was Naruto. And his eyes were different. He looked much more calm. He had grown, and his hair was longer as well. As Naruto spoke, it's been a long time, Bachan. As Tsunade stood up and dashed towards Naruto and gave him a hug, instead of a smell coming from his body because of the odor and the condition, it was as if he had the most beautiful smell of the flowers of the earth. It was all thanks to the soul of the earth becoming a part of him, and him becoming a part of her, that his odor has died and turned itself into a fragrance. As Naruto then said it, I missed you, Naruto. I missed the home and you all as well. It's been a long time, Bachan. You have grown, and not only in height, in a lot of ways. That I have. That I have. As soon enough, Naruto met with his friends the next morning after taking a bath. He decided not to cut his hair, because he was enjoying having long hair. As now we see, wherever he went, his presence demanded attention, and shocked many, because this was once a brash knucklehead prankster of Konoha, and now his walk resembled that of wisdom, a wise old man. As Naruto met with his friends, they were shocked to see that Naruto had grown and become like this. How was your journey, Naruto? It was fulfilling. I learned a lot. But more than anything I learned was that the bonds that we create can never be breakable. But those who are shattered can be mended, but not properly ever again. But I and Sasuke were able to do that. Isn't that right, Sasuke? As from the shadow, Sasuke appeared, as many Anbus and many others were confused. So you were able to sense me. Once I heard that you were away out on a journey again from Sakura, I was worried that you might have gotten into some sort of trouble. But turns out you didn't. Aoba was telling me that you had a destiny to fulfill. Yes. What's with the staff? Said Ino. You can say it was a gift from accomplishing my destiny. So where's the treasure? Said Kiba, as Naruto smiled and looked at them. Here, in front of me. As those who understood smiled, especially Tsunade and Kakashi, as they thought Naruto really has grown wise. This was the treasure all along. But the very journey that it took to learn about it, the true meaning behind it, that is what was needed for me to change. And more than ever, I learned about someone who was much more precious than me. As he appeared in front of Hinata, who was blushing and sat down on one knee. Hinata Yuga, you have loved me when no one believed in me. You have been my first admirer and my first beloved. Even now and even after that, I will continue to love you back. Your love can never be repaid with my love ever again, but I will continue to do so. I will love you till the eternity of our end. As Naruto placed a ring on her finger as she nodded yes, accepting his proposal. As everyone cheered and celebrated, while Ino and Sakura groaned because they weren't the first one to get married, but they were happy about the two. It was a long time coming, a real long one. As in the night time we see Naruto was resting, a lady Yuga came alongside with Neji in his dream. As his third eye was open, it's been a long time, Neji. Yes, it has been, Naruto. Look, you have taken a huge responsibility, old friend. So I am gonna make sure you fulfill it, as Naruto chuckled. Still playing the protective older brother, right? Yes. After all, you made me realize that my anger aside, she was just trying to connect to me, become my sister. And for that, as an older brother, I must say, if you break her heart, I will break your bones. Of course I will. You don't need to worry about anything, Neji. I will protect her from everything. Of course you should. Thank you, Naruto. Thank you, Hitomi-san, for bringing my other half into this world, said Naruto, as Hitomi giggled and smiled. Oi, stay remained to Hinata, said Neji, protecting his aunt, as Naruto chuckled as well. As after that, they too departed. As Naruto woke up with the new sunshine, as he heard the voice of the sun and the wind trying to wake him up, because they were happy to greet his friend, and so was Naruto to greet him back. Well, kid, I must say, I am impressed. Even in such a young age, you have been able to gain and achieve the level of wisdom not even my father was able to achieve. Not true. Every sensei wishes for his student to exceed. I have just excelled my sensei. As Kurama, after hearing the wise words from Naruto, was just happy and pleased with this. Right? He was in choosing and being able to trust Naruto, and now all he had to do was witness how far he would go. The council meeting with Naruto was quite interesting. The council was quite shocked to see him, quite shocked to see how far he has changed, and then many demanded for Tsunade to pass on the seat to him. But Naruto settled down, as even the 5 Kages were called to make him agree by the other councils. But Naruto settled down and told them that he doesn't wish to achieve his goal. He has achieved his destiny, his true one, which was to bring peace to this world and then achieve the ultimate truth of this world. That he has been able to achieve. As now we see, the 5 Kages were trying their best, as Naruto then said. I wish to become the Kage, don't get me wrong. But not at the moment. Right now, I need my best to spend time with my beloved, my other half. I have ignored her for all those long years. I can't just ignore her now. But kid, I have been the Kage for quite a long time. Then how about you pass it to someone else for the time being? After all, I am still a Genin in a sense. Or have you forgotten about that? At that, everyone remained quiet. They had forgotten about that. But that didn't matter anymore, because in their eyes, Naruto was the most wisest and the most powerful being after realizing that his journey was complete. And how Naruto carried himself and has changed over the course of years, it was identification of that. But Naruto denied that. He would do the way that is what it was meant to be. He will become a Jonin first, and then he will become the Kage. But before that, he had a long list of things to do. Raise a family of his own and wait for his discipline, because he knew his journey didn't end it here. He had to pass on this torch to the next generation as well. like his sensei did to him. As now, this is where I'm going to be leaving this movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my Meta What If channel as well, because there will be a story shortly uploaded there as well. So yeah, do let me know in the comments what you think of this story, because this movie, because I read a novel known as The Alchemist, as it mentioned in the beginning of the video, and that novel had left a lot of impression on me. So I thought maybe I should implement the core, beliefs of that novel into Naruto world to see how the story goes. And in my opinion, this story was great. So do let me know, guys, what you think, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to both of my channels, as this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace.